Now let's dive into another story. This is absolutely gold because this, along with accountability, is what I voted for. And I think it's what most of Americans voted for. This is fantastic stuff. Check it out.
We hired without warning. Two now former female federal immigration judges say their terminations are part of what they see as an obvious pattern.
We have seen that women and minorities have been disproportionately affected. This clearly raises serious concerns about transparency, fairness, and due process in our courts. I call for full transparency regarding our terminations.
Judge Carla Espinosa's termination email came as she sat on the bench in Chicago's immigration court July 11th. In the span of a few days, two more female colleagues got the same email from the Executive Office of Immigration Review, the division of the Department of Justice that oversees immigration courts.
I worry the EOIR has lost its mission.
The I-Team broke the story of Assistant Chief Judge Jennifer Payton's firing last month.
I'm really mostly worried about our country.
After years leading Chicago's immigration court, Judge Payton says the overburdened system she helped oversee is buckling.
Since January 2025, I've watched my professional colleagues and friends, over 100 of them, be either fired, resign, or transferred to other government jobs. Even more judges have simply quit. That leaves perhaps 600 immigration judges now, down from a high of a little over 700.
Judge Payton's ouster came weeks after a meeting with Illinois Senator Dick Durbin.
So we got phenomenal news. Trump is moving even behind the scenes to completely rewrite what is going on in our immigration court system. Now, for those of you who don't know, you've got several within the judicial system of the United States. You've got two levels of courts, essentially. You've got Article 3 courts, and then you've got Article 2 executive branch courts, right? So within the Article 3 courts, you've got the Supreme Court is the only one named in the Constitution. Then, by congressional statute, you've got all of the federal district courts around the country. And that's essentially the Article 3 division. Then you've got an entire swath of executive branch courts, administrative courts that are all tied to various government agencies. Essentially, prior to the overturning of the Chevron doctrine, every single government department, especially cabinet level, had its own administrative courts to handle disputes. So if you ever had a dispute with, let's say, the Department of Education or Department of Health and Human Services or any other department, and you filed suit, you went to essentially their own court. And their own court got to make the decision. And guess who never lost? Basically, the federal government. And so the Chevron doctrine overturned that little more than a year ago, basically saying, no. When you sue the federal government now, your case has to be heard in an Article 3, actual Article 3 judicial court. It can no longer be heard by an administrative court when you sue the federal government. However, there are still plenty of administrative courts that exist, and those are by statute. One big group that is extremely important is the immigration courts. Because as of, I think it was 15 years ago, but I'll double check, Congress specifically removed all of the immigration cases from federal district courts. They have no jurisdiction over asylum or immigration cases. Those fall entirely under the immigration court system. And they're not covered by the Chevron doctrine because it's not someone suing the federal government. It's, hey, if you applied for asylum, there is an immigration judge who will hear your case. If it has merit, because most asylum cases don't even have merit, they get dismissed out of hand. But if there's an actual hearing, it'll be heard by an immigration court judge, not by a federal judge. We're not going to tie up that system, which is there for criminal and actual civil cases, with immigration cases. And so that's why you have these immigration court judges. Now realize, these immigration judges work not for Article 3. They don't work under the Supreme Court. They work for the executive branch and therefore serve at the pleasure of the president. So he can fire them whenever he wants. This is absolutely great stuff. Now check this out.
Ravi, the court system is a major component of immigration enforcement in this country that judges say is being tossed aside in favor of expedited deportations. But since the start of his second term, President Donald Trump's administration has been firing immigration judges with years of experience. Now, 2 former judges are being blunt with the I-team about what they've seen and what they now fear.
Oh my God!
Judge Jennifer Payton was the assistant chief immigration judge overseeing Chicago's immigration court for nearly 9 years.
I kept telling myself and my husband, I kept saying, like, they're going to have to fire me. I'm not quitting.
Judge Payton is still reeling after being dumped in an email over the 4th of July weekend while on vacation with her family.
There's 3 complete sentences. No reason, no cause.
Judge Payton oversaw thousands of asylum and other removal cases. Now the contents of her office are stuffed in boxes, and she's sifting through the last 6 months.
Within a couple hours of the inauguration of President Trump, 4 senior leaders, all female, were fired by email. February 14th, a group of 7 assistant chief immigration judges like myself all received emails in the afternoon firing without cause. Why? I don't know.
Nobody knows.
No.
The upheaval has sent other immigration judges running for the exits.
There was a massive change in the tone.
Now, former Chicago immigration judge Christy Nelson said by April she couldn't take it anymore.
It was basically like we were being told that we weren't valued, that they just wanted to get rid of us.
The immigration court system is convoluted. It actually isn't a court in the traditional sense. Despite it having judges, attorneys on both sides, and hearings, it does not fall under the judicial branch, and it's separate from criminal court.
You're less independent because you're a part of the executive branch of government.
And it's the Attorney General
Exactly. You work for the president.
Who can and now is firing immigration judges. Judge Jennifer Payton's 3-sentence termination letter came from the Executive Office for Immigration Review, a branch that reports to the Attorney General. That office denied the I-team's request for an interview or any comment.
I think that there's an effort going on to bypass the immigration courts.
One way to bypass the courts, the use of expedited removal, a process in which ICE can detain someone and deport them in a matter of days.
Exactly. This is what the American people voted for. Get rid of the illegal aliens. Nobody wants them here. They're here illegally. By definition, they're criminals. And everybody was on board with the Trump policy, which was let's start with the worst first. Let's go find the ones who have also committed crimes in the United States, and let's get rid of them first. But eventually, we're going to get rid of everybody. That's always been the Trump policy. And in order to do that, you cannot have a bunch of bleeding heart liberal immigration judges standing in the way. And so when they find that these people violate their oaths of office and violate the law and continually violate policy of the executive branch to whom they report, they get fired. Guess what? You and your own job. If you continually violate policy, you're out of a job.
There's fewer judges. I think the administration is going to be using expedited removal. They are using expedited removal more frequently than in the past, and it results in more people being deported.
I'm worried about myself and my future, but I'm really mostly worried about our country.
Late this afternoon, Senator Dick Durbin released a statement calling Judge Payton's firing an abuse of power and punishment for a non-political judge. Durbin says he met with Payton in Chicago Immigration Court late last month, triggering an email to the judge from the Department of Justice saying, quote, immigration judges should not directly communicate with members of Congress and congressional staff, and required all communication from congressional offices to be forwarded to headquarters for review and response. Judge Payton was fired soon after. And this story is still ongoing.
So not only has she violated so many other things, but now she's also meeting with members of Congress, which is not allowed. Now, just to give everybody a little bit of context, doing a little bit of research on Payton, Judge Payton, she approves asylum cases at an almost 86% clip. The national this is in Chicago, the national average for asylum cases is 30%. So she is more than 2.5 times the average. So obviously she's got a bone to pick. Obviously she's got a political agenda. It just doesn't so happen that she gets every single asylum case that is so worthy that they have to get approved in her 9-year career. Now, maybe if she had only been there a few months, okay, maybe I'll give you that. No. So she is an actual political hack masquerading as a judge who did nothing more than rubber stamp illegal criminals being here in the United States. And so that and the fact that she was meeting with partisan members of Congress, she's gone, she's out. And so many other immigration judges are out when clearly their actions violate not only the law, but also the policy of the executive branch to which they report. I got a fantastic video. So check this woman out from Chicago. You got to see this. This is great stuff.
I want to give a special shout out to the Trump administration for firing these woke liberal judges here in Chicago, immigration judges here in Chicago. Thank you so much. These woke judges are going on TV crying racism and discrimination. No, it's not that. You were just woke and you wasn't doing your job. How is it that the national average cases, immigration cases, is what is it, 30 to 40% of the cases, the national average of the cases are that, go through, get past, is 30 to 40%. Now, you have this judge, what's her name, Jennifer Payton in Chicago. The average cases she passed was 85.4% of her cases she passed through. The people that seeking asylum, she gave it to them. 85.4%. And then we have this other judge. Her name is Carla Espinoza. Now, her average cases that she passed is, I believe, is 78.4% of her asylum cases she allowed through. And you telling me you don't know why you was fired? I know why you was fired, because you wasn't doing your job. That's why. And I want to give a special shout out to the Trump administration for getting rid of these judges. And we're asking that you get rid of more of these woke liberal judges, immigration judges.
Absolutely, because this is what we voted for. This is what Chicagoans voted for. They are tired of this nonsense. And Harry Enton was on CNN. He's been on multiple times, but basically banging the alarm drum for any Democrat that wants to listen, that this is a loser issue for them. The more they double down and side with the criminal illegals, the worse it gets. We got 2 clips from Harry Enton that just sum this all up. It's absolutely great stuff. Check this out.
So Donald Trump, the president, picking a fight on this, and to an extent, you see Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, a Democrat, and the California Governor Gavin Newsom pushing back. So what do voters see in terms of their perceptions of Republicans, the president, or Democrats, say Gavin Newsom, on this issue?
Yeah, the American electorate believe that the Democrats don't have a clue on the issue of immigration. I mean, you could just take it here. Closer to trust more in immigration, Democrats versus Republicans. Got 3 different polls for you across the board. They all tell the same story. Republicans lead on the issue of immigration. You see it here, CBS +6. You see it here, CNN +6. You see it here, Ipsos, even bigger, +19. No matter what poll you look at, no matter which way you cut it, the American public is with the Republicans. The American public is with Donald Trump, and to a much greater extent than they were in term number 1. And it's not just on the broad issue of immigration, it's on the specifics as well, in which the American public is with Donald Trump and the Republicans. And that is why Donald Trump is eager to take on this fight and eager for those scenes out of Los Angeles.
Absolutely. Donald Trump, he is standing with the 80%. And the ridiculous Democrats are standing with the 20%. Now, we got one more, because here Harry Enton says the quiet part out loud, and it's absolutely amazing. Check this out.
The Donald Trump administration is arguably the most influential this century, and probably as well dating back a good portion of the last century as well. Love it, like it, lump it. Trump is remaking in the United States of America. Let's talk about tariffs first, right? There's all this talk that Donald Trump always chickens out when it comes to tariffs. No tacos for Trump. The effective tariff rate, get this, It's 18%, the highest since the FDR administration in the 1930s, up from, get this, just 2% last year. From just 2% last year, we're talking about a level, an effective tariff rate level, get this, 9 times as high this year than last year. But it's not just on tariffs, which of course Donald Trump ran on, in which you're seeing a tremendously influential presidency. What about immigration? Of course, Trump ran and has always run on a very hawkish immigration platform. Get this, 2025 net migration in the United States down at least 60% from last year. In fact, we may be heading for the first time in at least 50 years in which we have net negative migration into the United States. And last year, of course, in 2024, the net migration in the U.S. was 2.8 million. This year, we might be talking about negative net migration. My goodness gracious. Now, of course, this is part of the larger story, as I was mentioning. We're talking about immigration, net migration. We're talking about the effective tariff rate. But get this, how is Donald Trump doing it? Well, he is signing a ton of executive orders. Get this, 180, the most in a year since Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Oh, my goodness, you have to go back to the first half of the 20th century, the last century. And to make a comparison, Joe Biden signed, get this, just 77 during his entire first year. And we're only a little bit in August so far, and Donald Trump making history with 180 executive orders signed so far this year. So that's why I said that in my mind, Donald Trump is the most influential president of this century, and probably dating back a good portion of the last century. That is because he is remaking the country in terms of tariffs. He is remaking the country in terms of net migration, and he is remaking the country in terms of how much policy changes he's putting through in executive orders. As I said, it truly is history making. Love it, like it, or Donald Trump.
Hey, absolutely. So you've got Harry Enton saying the quiet part out loud. Trump is the most influential president. We are heading towards net negative migration. You've got 3 solid months now with, count them, 0 illegal aliens released into the country, where you've got border contacts down in the hundreds and none of them are released. There is no catch and release. They're caught and they're sent packing. They are not allowed to stay in the country. There are no new, there's no new backlog of asylum claims waiting. No. Trump has shut it down, and it's absolutely amazing. And the libs can't stand it. And while Trump is radically ramping up enforcement and getting rid of the illegals, he is also getting rid of the judges that stand in the way. And that's what I voted for. I don't know if that's what you voted for. Let me know in the comments. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share Courageous Media. And if you like the content and you want to support the channel, please join us as a member of Courageous Army. Really appreciate you being here. Remember, God is good and he is sovereign. Until I catch you next time.